YouTubers. Hello, I'm Lukman Hidayat bin Jamil, and I will present you about explain how monetary and fiscal policies can control inflation. Okay, next. First, monetary policy. We have 5 points to control inflation. The first one is open market operation by selling of security or short-term bonds. For the explanation, the sale of short-term bonds or government securities and treasury bills to the public and banking community by the central bank directly reduce the total amount of cash balance in the public asset portfolio and cash reserve with the commercial bank. Okay. Indirectly, the sale of securities by the central bank causes a fall in the price of securities and thus reduce the supply of money. Okay, the second point is raising the reserve requirement. That is, the central bank will raise the reserve equipment to reduce cash reserve resources in commercial banks and force these commercial banks to restrict their lending activities. A rise in the reserve requirement will reduce the ability of commercial banks to provide loans, and this will ultimately lead to a decrease in the supply of money. Okay, next point is we can control inflation by raising the discount rate or bank rate. Okay, a rise in the bank rate shows that the central bank monetary policy is directed toward the credit squeeze to control inflation. A rise in the discount rate or bank rate also raises the price of borrowing funds from banks for the business community, and this forces the banking system to re-examine its lending policies. Okay, the next one is raising the interest rate. Okay, for the raising the interest rate, the central bank will persuade the commercial bank to increase their rates of interest to the deposit from the public. The high rate of interest will attract and encourage more people to save, and this will increase the level of saving. Okay, the lastly is selective credit control policy. For the monetary policies, the selective credit policy takes the form of issuing directive to commercial banks prohibiting them from lending against certain commodities or reducing the total credit limit granted to the public. Okay, next one. Okay, next one is the fiscal policy. How it control the inflation? They have 2 points. The first is increase in tax. Okay, for the increase in tax, high regressive tax structure can successfully reduce the impact of inflation on the economy. An increase in the tax will reduce the disposable income of individuals and their consumption of goods and services. This in turn will lead to fall in price. Okay, the last point for fiscal policies is decrease in government spending. Okay, a reduction in government expenditure will directly affect aggregate demands. The government will cut the salary of all the civil servants and postpone its development projects to reduce the purchasing power of the public. Okay, all these points that I give from the fiscal policies, the 2 point and 5 point from the monetary policies is the way to control the inflation. That's all. Thank you.